Hey everybody, I'm Demián, aka The Terrible Australian of Supermarcy.com, and welcome to my video review of Academy Award-winning writer-director Quentin Tarantino's new film, The Hateful Eight. So let's get right into it. Now, anyone who knows me knows I am an absolutely huge fan of Quentin Tarantino. I absolutely love his films, I love his work, and his film Pulp Fiction is my all-time favorite film. And it also was one of the films that changed my life as well, and made me want to sort of even try to pursue filmmaking as well. But anytime the man announces a film, it just shoots up instantly as one of my most anticipated films for that year, and The Hateful Eight is no exception at all. And this is him returning to the Western genre, which he already explored in his previous film, Django Unchained, although technically he prefers to call that a Southern, since it's not even really set in the West, it's more set in the South, but that's a whole different story. But this is him returning to the Western genre, and I have to say this film was, as much as I did love Django Unchained, this film was even better. In my opinion, this is probably his best film since Inglourious Basterds. The Hateful Eight is a phenomenal film. It's definitely, in a lot of ways, it kind of goes back to basics for him in a lot of ways, because it's basically like him going back to kind of his roots, like with Reservoir Dogs, with how that film was kind of really sort of set in one location with a couple of characters. The Hateful Eight, it takes a very similar approach, since it's in the film a bunch of characters holed up in a cabin during a snowstorm, and sort of during the course of the film, like, we discover that not everybody is what they seem, and that some characters are there for their own reasons and whatnot, and the film is just absolutely riveting. I just absolutely loved it from beginning to end. Like, it is a very long film. It's like over 2.5 hours, or 3 hours if you're seeing the 70mm version. But to me, I just adored every single moment of it. Yes, it is a long film, especially since things don't really sort of kick into gear until at least just about probably the hour and 20-minute mark, but when it does, it goes berserk, and I just had a great time with this film. And even though as entertaining and as riveting as the film is, I have to say though, this is definitely without a doubt Tarantino's most politically charged film in it. Like, the way that the film deals with race and misogyny and stuff like that. Tarantino definitely explores some themes that feel very topical today, and while at the guise of delivering a film that's riveting and whatnot. Like, this is definitely, I think if you go in expecting this film to be exactly like Django Unchained, you're definitely going to be disappointed, because this one's definitely more of a character piece, and one that's more about dialogue and character development and whatnot. But also, compared to Django Unchained, which was was a quote-unquote entertaining film, this one is definitely much more darker in a lot of ways. Like, besides the sort of the themes that it deals with, there's sort of a dark, mean-spiritedness and nihilistic tone that sort of spreads throughout the entire film, and you feel that throughout every single moment in this film. And I can understand some people kind of being put off by that, especially. But to be fair, the characters in these films, none of these characters are heroes. In a way, they're all, I don't want to say villains, but they're definitely not good guys, that's for sure. And the film and the tone reflects that. And to me, I just found every character in this film just riveting on screen, and everyone does a fantastic performances in their roles. Samuel L. Jackson, Kurt Russell, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Walton Goggins, Tim Roth, Demián Bichir, Demián Bichir, sorry for screwing up his name, so forgive me. Michael Madsen, Bruce Dern, and many more. Everyone just delivers on their performances. But for me, the standout, of course, were definitely Walton Goggins and Jennifer Jason Leigh. Jennifer Jason Leigh is just, I don't want to say she's unrecognizable, but you could tell that she sort of dug deep into this character, and it's definitely unlike any role that she's played before, but she is phenomenal, and she just steals every scene that she's in. And also Walton Goggins, who is also equally as fantastic as well. And I'm kind of as much as Jennifer Jason Leigh is very deserving of her Oscar nomination for this film, I wish Walton Goggins got nominated as well, because he is just as amazing as Leigh is in this film. And also Samuel L. Jackson, who just commands every scene in the film, and this is definitely up there as one of his best performances, and Kurt Russell is great as well. But everyone's great. The script is brilliantly written once again by Quentin Tarantino. Just every scene is just so brilliantly handled, from dialogue to setup and where the story goes. Like, some parts you can kind of see coming and whatnot, but how it's all handled is just so brilliantly done. And also, Tarantino also subverts our expectations as well, which is really good. So, and also it's brilliantly directed. And even for a film that's shot mostly indoors, the film just looks spectacular. And I suppose shooting it on 70mm, it sort of gives it that sort of real epic scope for a film that feels very small scale in its setting and whatnot. And even when it's shot outside by the cinematography is just superb. And Roger Richardson, who's been doing pretty much nearly all of Quentin's films since Kill Bill, again does a phenomenal job with his cinematography. And also I've got to say this, Ennio Morricone's score, sublime, just absolutely fantastic. And it sort of adds sort of the sort of intensity to the film. And when you kind of watch it, you can sense, like, yeah, Tarantino was inspired by, westerns and whatnot, but you can definitely, because he has gone on record saying that The Thing was a main inspiration for this film, and you can feel that in this film, like all the sort of the snowstorm and all that. You just feel cold watching this film, and sort of the sense of paranoia that these characters are going through during the course of the film is just absolutely riveting. And it's just a fantastic film, and to me it's up there as one of Quentin Tarantino's best. But at the same time, I can understand why some people might not like it. Yeah, the violence is very violent, and there's a lot of swearing and all that, and a lot of the N-word, of course. And but to me, it's there for a purpose. And also, it is a long, like I said, it's an over 2.5 hour film, and the pacing is definitely a much more of a slow burn compared to his other films, but it is just so brilliantly done. And if I had to describe this entire film, think of Inglourious Basterds, the tavern scene, like where Michael Fassbender, Diane Kruger, and the bastards all sort of meet up. Imagine that entire sequence stretched out to a 2.5 hour film. That's just how it is throughout. It just slowly builds and builds and builds, and then like that, it just goes completely insane, like in terms of violence, and the violence hits as over the top as it is. It really hits hard, and it has, like I said, it does have a mean-spiritedness to it as well, but it kind of feels appropriate for this type of films. So I didn't have a problem with that. So, yep, The Hateful Eight, amazing film. Absolutely loved it. Definitely up there as one of my favorite films of Tarantino's. I would probably, maybe, depending on how I feel about it, on my next watch, it might be in my top 3. So that's just how, really blown away I was by this film. It's just a fantastic film, and just up there, and it's a masterpiece from him. What can I say? So if I had to give this film, it's definitely 5 stars. It's just brilliant, and one of 2005's best films for sure. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's fantastic. So yep, that's the end of my video review of The Hateful Eight. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. See you everyone. Bye.